right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into the science behind what makes teaching great. You know, it's not just about passion, it's about having the right set of tools. And those tools come from a field called educational psychology. Let's get right into it.
So think about it. We've all had teachers who were pretty good, but then there were those few who are truly great. What was the difference? Was it just that they cared more, or is there actually a science to it? Well, that's the big puzzle we're going to tackle today.
And here's our roadmap. First, we'll lay out what we mean by the learning puzzle. Then, we'll open up the toolkit and see what psychology brings to the classroom. We'll look at learning through a few different lenses, see how researchers actually figure this stuff out, and finally, connect all that theory back to what happens in the real world.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning, with the core challenge itself.
I mean, just picture a classroom. It's not one student. It's 20, maybe 30 different people. Each one comes with their own unique mind, their own background, their own way of seeing the world. So a teacher's job isn't just to explain a subject, right? It's to somehow create a space where every single one of those unique puzzles can click into place. That's the mind-boggling complexity we're talking about here.
So how in the world do you even begin to manage all that complexity?
Well, this is where the toolkit comes in, educational psychology. At its heart, this isn't some abstract theoretical thing. It's a super practical science, and it's all laser-focused on one question. How do we make teaching and learning actually work better for everyone involved?
So what really makes this field tick? Well, for one, it's scientific. It's all about evidence, not just opinions. It's an applied science, which means the whole point is to solve real, messy problems that pop up in actual classrooms. And maybe most importantly, it is always learner-centered. The student is the absolute focus of every single question and every single solution.
And its scope? It's huge. We're talking about everything from how a kid's brain develops, to what makes one student learn differently from another, to the social vibe of the classroom itself. It even gets into how we design tests that actually measure what a student knows. It really is the whole shebang, a complete look at the entire world of education.
Now, to make sense of learning, psychologists have developed different models over the years. You can think of them as different lenses, with each one giving us a unique angle on what's really going on inside a student's head.
And you can see this amazing evolution in thinking. Way back, you had structuralism, which tried to literally map out the mind. Then, whoa, the pendulum swung hard the other way with behaviorism, which basically said, nope, we can only study what we can see. But, you know, that wasn't the full story. Eventually, the focus came back inside, with humanistic and cognitive psychology reminding us that, hey, what we think and feel on the inside, that stuff really matters.
And this contrast right here, this was a total game changer for education. Behaviorism kind of sees the learner as passive, just responding to things, like in a drill and practice exercise. But the cognitive school completely flips that idea on its head. It sees the learner as an active participant, someone who's thinking, making connections, and solving problems. That one little shift from a passive to an active learner, it changed everything.
So where do all these powerful ideas come from? I mean, they're not just random guesses. They are the result of some seriously rigorous scientific work. Let's take a quick look at how we know what we know.
Researchers have a few key methods in their own toolkit. For instance, observation is great because you get to see how kids behave in their natural environment. But if you want to prove that a new teaching method causes better scores, you have to run a controlled experiment. Each method has its pros and cons, and you pick the right tool for the job.
Okay, this brings us to what's probably the most important part. We've got the theories, we've got the research methods, but what does all of this actually mean for a teacher in a classroom on a random Tuesday morning?
This is the ultimate payoff. Educational psychology acts as a bridge. It closes that gap between the scientific knowing and the practical doing. It takes the why from all that research and gives teachers the how for creating classrooms that really work.
And you can see this incredible feedback loop right here. So, a theory might suggest a new way to teach math. A teacher then takes that idea and tries it in their classroom. The results from that real-world test, what worked, what didn't, goes back and helps make the original theory even better. So theory informs practice, and practice makes the theory sharper. It's a beautiful cycle.
And that's really the bottom line. The whole point of this entire toolkit is actually pretty simple. It's to empower teachers. Because when teachers have the tools to be more effective, education just becomes more engaging, more supportive, and way more successful for every single student.
So, as we close this out, I want to leave you with a big question to think about. We've seen how ideas have evolved from behaviorism to cognitive science. Now, with the explosion of AI, personalized learning, and a much deeper understanding of the brain, what's next? What do you think is going to be the next great tool in the educator's toolkit? Thanks for watching.